Yes, Mary.
Yes, I've had several questions.
Uh-huh.
I guess one major one is I don't quite understand how we're going to get. I think it's important to have people's emails to keep in touch. And how are we going to transmit that information to each other? So, for instance, we have a local TTAC that just started this year with Carla Rosen and Diane Myers at the Healdsburg branch. And the they're quite active, the girls. They're organizing like a trip to an observatory this week, and they're getting 13 young participants coming from this summer's camp, that Diane led, and
Yep.
Sonoma one. So I have no idea personally what the people's emails are, their contact info, how to get in touch with them. So that's, I think, key. And I
Right,
don't
right. But
understand how this is going to work.
the event coordinators and the people, the Tech Trek advisor, whoever the branch Tech Trek advisor is, and sometimes there's, Tech Trek alumni advisors. Some branches have them. Some branches only have branch coordinators. To the extent a branch wants to get involved, we can share that information with them, and they can then use it to contact and reach out to the girls, work with their committee to do that. It's got to be one of these things that we're working on doing this. Can you give me a list of all of my campers for the last 25 years and all the details I have? And we share that when they ask. And so it is then up to you to maintain contact with them if you want to have a local group. What we'll do on the virtual side is, to the extent that those emails work, which is key, again, to the extent that they work, we will send information out to them periodically via the newsletter, via whatever, so that we'll be sharing information with them and you at the same time, so that you all know what it is that we're working on with them. And that's not all that works.
So right now, if I understand you correctly, the first thing to do to get a list of, let's say, our local branch alumni is to ask whom for that list?
Carla might already be doing that too, Mary.
Yeah, Carla's already got that done. She's
working on it, but I would like to know how in practice one.
She would send, and so what we're, as part of the Tech Trek handbook, and I did share this with her because I've been going back and forth with her for 2 weeks on the handbook thing, or the toolkit.
That's the other question I had, but go ahead.
As part of that, it was to send to the Tech Trek TTAC, TTAC at aauw-ca.org, send them a request for the information, and they will send you what we have. So whatever info we'll have, we'll send to you.
I see. Tech Trek TTAC at aauw.ca.org.
-ca, not that.
Oh, -ca.
-ca.
And when you have referred several times to this toolkit, what exactly is this toolkit?
The toolkit is something that it's Ellie's little labor of love, Ellie Lavender's labor of love, and Terry and Heidi's not here, but all of our labor of love. So we've all been working on it. It is a document for branches and alumni to use to be able to set up a local Tech Trek alumni group, to help them, provide them some structure, provide them some templates, some information that they can use to go ahead and do basically what we've done here at the virtual level, what the South Bay crew did when they set up their TTAG group, what every group, what you're working on, Ellie, and Carlsbad Oceanside Vista. So it's to give you some tools for you to be able to go out and do that. Permission forms, instructions about what you need to do, what your volunteers need to do. You know, how to go about getting budgeting. Something else, Ellie?
Well, only we are also available by email or phone to answer any questions. And I've had several inquiries this week.
And that will be going out. That will be being published sometime here in the next month or so.
Oh, so it's not available yet.
No, we've been working on it for the last year. All of this stuff is stuff we've been working on for the last year, trying to get it ready to go. And so we finally gotten to the point where we were able to get it, have communications look at it. We feel comfortable that it's what it needs to be to get out there, and we'll get it out there. And if we have to make changes, we'll make changes.
Will it be a PDF? Will it be a PDF we could download from
Yeah, it'll be a PDF. Yep. It'll be downloadable. Yep. Anything else about Tech Trek alumni community? If not, we'll move on back to branch support. And I'm going to thank you, Olivia, Alana, Marilyn, and Kelsey. If you want to hang out, you can hang out and see the rest of the stuff we do, or you can go do homework.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All righty.
Thank you.
Same with you, Ellie, if you need to hit the road. I know you have family in town, right?
I do have family in town. It's parents' weekend. Before I went, I just wanted to introduce myself to anybody who doesn't know me. Hi, my name's Ellie. I'm a senior at UC Berkeley. I'm dual majoring in mechanical engineering and business, and I was a camper at UCI in 2015. I absolutely love this program and love what we're doing. I'm currently helping as the alumni outreach director for the TTAC program. So all those lovely people that just presented on the TTAC program, I'm helping support them. If you have any questions about the program or have ideas about improving outreach, please feel free to email me. I'm sure in the next week, you're going to get some emails from me and other TTAC leaders about some new programs we have going on and some support we're going to need from camp directors as well as branch leaders to help basically congregate a lot of information from the past to help us reach our outreach goals. So you're going to hear from me very soon, but super excited to be working on this program. And I hope everybody has an amazing weekend.
Thank you, Ellie. Well, go enjoy your family, and we're going to go back to a little bit more of our camp stuff. So let's do this. Okay. So let's just talk now. Let's shift to branch support. And again, if you've got questions on what I'm trying to get this thing out of my way. If you've got questions about the Tech Trek alumni community, you know, funnel your emails into that TTAC email, and that way we can get them to the right people. So this came out of one of the earlier presentations. So we had, you know, you asked the question earlier, how many branches do we have? And I think that we have 110 branches that participated in 2023. In 2022, we had 94 branches that participated. So it's up a little bit more, but recognize we did not have, San Diego was not running in 2022. They did send campers to virtual. So the branches, most of the branches participated, but we did get a few more branches this past year. So just a little bit more participation. Nominations, about the same number. Applications, the ones who actually finally completed the nomination, that was up about 10%. And then if you look at what we actually got in this year in attendance versus last year, we were at 633 with 6 in-person camps. And then we added another 161 campers with 2 additional camps between San Diego and Sonoma Johnson. So we were able to get that 25% increase by doing that. This past year, some branches had more issues with COVID cancellations than other branches did. Some camps seemed to have more issues with COVID cancellation than other camps did. And when I talk about cancellations, I'm talking about sometime in the last couple of weeks before camp, not, somebody comes to camp and then goes home. But basically either canceling out before they even got to camp. And that was, we're going to have to deal with COVID again this year. And we talked a little bit about it, but and we'll be very clear with the branches about it. We are probably not going to get the vaccination policy updated in the policies and procedures review in October. We'll probably have to do that in November, but it's kind of good we're not casting it yet, because I was just ready. Alice, if you remember our conversation from last Monday about if you haven't had a bivalent, okay, they threw another thing at us. Novavax is not bivalent. Novavax just got approved by the FDA. So you can use Novavax. And I'm like, oh, great. Now you've just made it so I have to be even more it's going to muddy the waters even more. So I'm just like, all right. And I don't even want to do anything. I want to almost wait until January and see where things are at then. It's like, oh my God, I wish they would stop changing things. So, but it's a good thing we didn't cast it before that. So at least we have some time to make some changes. We actually had a bunch, 218 branch members. And when I say branch members in Camp Doc, these are people who are in as providers, right? These are the people who are in there and who are trying to oversee the process as campers go through to make sure that they're getting things done. So we do have quite a bit of engagement. How many of those people were actively engaged versus just signed up? That's probably, you're probably looking at a third to maybe 40% of the people who might have been actively engaged, going in and looking at reports, sending letters. But I did see letters that were being sent by branch coordinators to their campers. And so that's good that they were actually using the system to be able to do what they could do. And then I got a number of branch coordinators who asked me specifically if I could show them this year how to do that, because they wanted to be able to communicate directly with their kids. And I said, I think that's great that they want to learn the new system and are happy that we're sticking with one system, I guess.
Excuse me, Dr. Lee, what is Camp Doc?
Camp Doc is the tool that we use for registering campers and staff, for registering all participants for any sessions. The fact is, we're probably going to use it for registering any volunteers for TTAC throughout the year. So if, for instance, we bring somebody on to help us do IT support during the year, they would probably go through Camp Doc, because they're going to have to be vetted just the same as anybody else, right? They're going to have to go through the same volunteer type process. So we have been looking at, and I have been talking to some of the branches about whether we could use this for them for their TTAC events. And I said, I don't think so, but I'm going to have a conversation with the Camp Doc people, because it's I can't ad hoc go up and create a session. I have to have them do it for us and have them activate it and turn it on and everything else. So it's a little different than some of the other tools that we've had, but we'll look at that.
So is it some commercial application?
It is a commercial application. That's correct. And we pay for it. We pay so much for 1,500 seat or spots, if you want to call it that, session occurrences. So the campers come in, they complete an application, staff comes in, they complete an application, they go through the interview process, the branch coordinators decide who to pick, they go in and tell us who to pick, we assign which ones to the different camps, and they go from there. And that's how the system is set up to do it. And then the data is available, or all the data are available afterwards. So all of you as branch coordinators, I thought it was going to be purged every year, and it is not going to be purged.
Oh, that's new.
Yeah. So
Oh.
that means you can keep that, that data is going to be available to you to stay in touch with them and send emails to them for as long as they'll answer the emails, right? The issue is they can't go in and change their record unless they then, so if you have some alumni, for instance, that somebody was a camper last year, and this year they could go in or in 3 years, if they were going to volunteer at a camp, they would still be in there, and we can flip their record over to a staff. They can sign up as a staff member instead. So I think that'll, and we haven't even explored that option yet, because this is really only the first year that we've been using it, but we'll see what we can do.
So right now, who has accounts on this?
Say that again?
Who has access to this? I imagine there's a log on and a username and password.
Yep. Providers have access to it. I'm the admin, the lead admin on it. I assign permissions depending on your role. You sign up and we assign you, branch coordinators have certain permissions. Finance people have certain permissions. Camp directors have certain permissions. So they see different things and are able to edit different things. And I basically assign that when they log in. I can invite them, I can add them, or they can log in.
And is there a way to train like branch coordinators or people who are new at this?
To train new people?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have all kinds of training up on the website for how to use it, number one. And we have office hours. We offer office hours where if people need help in doing stuff, they just come and then I basically walk them through. And we periodically there's some video clips up in our YouTube channel, some other training stuff that's in there. So yeah, they get trained. Yep. Any questions about where we're at with branch support right now? So, or what we've done this past year. We have a meeting scheduled for the end of this month. I sent B2B, and you'll get periodically, depending on when we have, I think the next one I scheduled for after that will be November 30th. So the plan is to have a monthly for a couple months, and then we'll switch it to bi-monthly, and then we'll stop for a little while, and then we'll start up again. So I think that the last year we ended up with a total of 6 sessions that we had with a larger group, in addition to the office hours and anything else that people needed support with. I think that, like I said, at the end of this month, we'll have a little bit more information. We will have already had our board meeting by then, which is scheduled for the 21st of this month. So anything that has been reviewed and approved or discussed or denied or whatever, we'll know all of that. I'll be able to share that with all of the branch coordinators at that time. I think one of the things that's really important is that we really need to get all of our documentation in a row so that we can get it to the branches here in October, November timeframe, and they can get it out to their schools and to whoever their donors, whoever else that they need to reach out to. There should not be significant changes from last year. So everything is probably going to be pretty much the same as last year. The dates may change, the numbers may change a little bit, but everything should be pretty much the same. And so I told you I'm also going to try and schedule those alumni advisor peer sessions for twice annually. And I'm going to send something out, Carol Holzgraf. I'll send it probably this weekend to try and find a time for all of us to get connected to see. When are you going on vacation?
Me?
Yeah. You,
Next week and then the last week of October.
next week in the okay, so if I set something up for the following week,
Yeah.
that last week, so the next 2 weeks you're going to be gone. So maybe
No, there's two separate trips. I'm leaving Tuesday and I'll be back Sunday, and then I'm not leaving again until the 21st.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's we'll try and schedule something for that period of time. I'll pick some times out and we'll get together and figure out what it is we're going to do for Northern California. I saw that note, Diane, from the other person that we don't have there's no time in July for Sonoma.
Right. And yeah, so the back-to-back, if we,
Not a possibility. Yeah.
Well, and we've all, they've just known that we've always come in June. And so that's been our spot for years, I think. It's part of the deal.
Yeah. 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 And so we'll be communicating and periodically we'll send notes out to branch coordinators specifically, not through the B2B, but we'll probably have a couple of those notes going out too, just like we did last year. We'll tell you what's new, anything that you need to be looking out for. But yeah, one of our discussions is always about, being so careful about the words we write. And at the same time, it's like, well, people got to read them.
And I've already gotten questions about, well, we were at the second camp and we want to, are we going to be able to still go? And I'm like, well, things are changing a little bit. So
yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that, and then we're working on this with procedure stuff too. We've still got a bunch of positions we've got to fill. We have to fill the financial liaison position. I don't have a medical advisor yet. We made it through this year, but with a lot of counsel from some outside help, but I would like to put somebody in place. I think we need to make sure that we have camp directors for whatever quote new camp. And it's a new old camp or a new camp. I don't know. So, but we need to make sure that we have camp directors and that they're ready to deal with whatever has to happen at that new camp. And we do need a new virtual camp director and treasurer. I did the treasurer this year, and Heidi's going to be stepping down from the virtual camp. So certainly I have no problem with doing it again, but I want somebody else to do it. So, I mean, this is not that, it's kind of fun, but I need somebody to step up. And one of the things, I met with the incoming Deb Sabo and Rachel, the folks that are going to hopefully be blessed and just through the consent agenda say, yes, okay, we have some new camp directors. You all everybody should be looking for a good person to replace you. You all ought to constantly be looking around and saying, who could do this job, and figuring out a way that you can start grooming them so that they're ready. And whether that be, that you have to start bribing them with a lot of chocolate, or I don't know exactly what would work, but I think, we all ought to be thinking about every time we come into a role, and you're looking at different people, that person would be a good person for this role, or you should be looking at what's going to happen in the future. And I want everybody to remember, all of our roles are volunteer roles. Everybody in any role is in that as a volunteer. And I've heard some feedback, well, we're not paying teachers enough, and this is not a teaching job. This is not a job. And for people to think that it is a job is the wrong thing. It's not a job. And I understand that we want people to be willing to take on some of these roles, but technically we have to be very careful with our volunteer roles. If we pay people like this is a job, then we have to pay them like an employee. And we do not want to do that. This is a volunteer job. The other thing is, all key roles, we want them female. And that includes instructors, dorm moms, assistant directors, people, anybody that is interacting with the girls. To the extent that we, on occasion, something happens, we have an emergency, we have to have a male step in to do something. If it's backroom stuff and we have this awesome person doing backroom stuff, great. That's fine. I'm not saying that we don't want their help, but what we want in front of the girls is females in STEM. And so that's what we're going to be working on this year. And we ought to be looking if there's an issue with finding females in STEM, then, you know, we need to work a little bit harder on figuring out how we're going to have somebody find somebody to instruct or somebody to present or whatever it is that we need to do. In today's day and age, there should be no reason why we can't have females in every instructor role in a camp. There's no good reason. So, next sessions, Monday. Like I said, all the fun stuff, policies and procedures, budgeting, QuickBooks Online. Thursday, October 26th, so we got a couple of weeks after that. We've got the branch coordinator peer group meeting, and basically we're going to talk about what happened. You'll hear some of the stuff, well, most of you won't. I'll give you a more update, a little bit about next year's season, some of the weeks that we're going to be doing, and then we'll also talk a little bit about the Tech Trek alumni to the branch coordinators. So, questions, comments?
Are you updating the branch coordinators for this year? I mean, do you have like a spreadsheet you're working on?
Yeah, so here's something that is, I don't know if everybody knows this, but in the new directory, let me go there so I can show you. In the new directory, get out of this. No. I'm looking for.
I know I have like 4 new names.
I know, it's sad. I feel like what's her name? And Sandy and I have contests all the time to see who's has the most open. I'm looking for my up at the top here, and this thing is always in the way. WCAL. So have you seen this? Has everybody seen this?
Oh yeah, I looked at that.
So if you look down here, this is at the bottom of the protected page with the directory. And if you go down here and you select a branch, and you say, let's say La Mesa. Look, I guess I need to spell it right.
You can't just do by position and not do branch, can you?
Yeah, you can. It'll show you everybody.
Okay.
So you can either pick the branch coordinator that way, or you can go through and scratch this, and it's going to show you all, however many.
That's good.
And I was talking about this early. You could scrape this if you have the ability to scrape it, but there's no way to download it as a spreadsheet.
So is that on the California website?
Yeah, let me put this in the copy. Yeah. I'll put it in the everyone.
Perfect.
Yep. So that's one way to, and by the way, there's also, the Tech Trek, somebody asked the question, how do I see who's at what camps? This is where you can see who's at what camps, who the directors are, who the different people are at different camps. So they've done some changes, and that's helpful. We are going to be updating the website here in the near future, and hopefully it'll make it a little bit clearer to everybody how to find things, how to do things, how to,
And And what was the password again? Is it AAUW-CA?
No, AAUWCA, all one word, all lowercase.
Okay.
Other questions? Yes. Yes, Gail. Oh, you're just saying A, you're fine. You're fine.
I'm fine. I think the meeting has gone well. And
Yeah.
I need to go. I got some other work to do for something or other directly related
Thank you.
to AAUW.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and turn the recording off right here.